Hello again, another video inspiring this evening. I'm in here right now making my supper. My family is down in South Georgia at a archery tournament tonight. So I got a little time to think, and I was thinking a while ago about our journeys that we're on and about where we get to where we are and how we understand what things are spiritually. And most of us, as myself, I was raised United Methodist. I was brought up in the church, and that's all I knew of Christianity for most of my life. I didn't, I heard my friends were Baptists. I'm stirring my spaghetti sauce as we're speaking. But I was brought up Methodist, and, I had friends that were Baptist and Catholic and Jehovah's Witnesses, but, I always thought they were just like us, maybe a little, I thought the Baptists were a little bit more today I would say anal than we were, but whatever. That's the way it was back in those days. And I never really understood that. And my father was raised Catholic, and my mother was actually Free Will Baptist. And when they got married, they had to make a compromise. So my mama's, my daddy wasn't religious at the time, so mama chose Methodism. And then when I got baptized as a baby, my daddy basically had committed himself to God at that time, knowing the important stuff that was going on. So growing up, that's all I knew of religion was Methodism. And I learned, I learned a lot. I mean, people say Methodists don't study, and we didn't study the Bible a lot per se, but we did study the creeds, especially in confirmation, and we studied all these things. So I learned, and me being a nerd, even back in those days, I didn't understand it. But I really got into the theological and dogma side of it, even as a young kid before 13 years old. But when I got older, I kind of left the church, probably like most people do. As old as you get, you choose to make your own life, and I chose not to go to church. Got married, and then we started having children, and I was like, they need to be raised. So we started our experimenting in the Baptist church, and then the typical progression to the Assembly of God, Church of God, Pentecostals, Oneness, Apostolic. So we went that route, and, found a church, Assembly of God Church, that we spent 8 to 10 years in and just grew our family up in. And that's who we were. And at that time, that's what I knew to be the correct path to God. And then later on, I found out from my uncle that we had Jewish blood in our family, and I'd already started studying the feast and the Torah, and it just tied into it. And from there, I jumped into Messianic Judaism, and from there into Judaism, and it just shows the progression of our journey, and everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different path that they've walked. But I posted a video, sent it to a few friends. It's kind of an experiment, and what it was an Orthodox priest, and just to see where people are at. These are people from up north, people from up south, people everywhere. And, the criticism, without even watching the video, I know they didn't even watch the video, was somebody called this man a Catholic, and they prayed to Mary, and blah, 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 blah. And basically, it wasn't a Catholic priest at all. It was an Orthodox priest. And it's amazing to me how people are so stuck within a box that they really don't know the difference. A lot of the religious experts that you see out there don't know anything else. And if you give a definition of like Gnosticism or consciousness is, they go straight to Zen Buddhism or Hinduism or Gnostic duality, and they don't even understand what they're saying. They don't understand that these topics cover so much more than the padded answer that's given to you. So it really, it amazes me, because I'm just a nerd enough that when I see something, I'm going to really get into it and study and see what it is. And there's a lot of things that I've looked at. Like I love the Dead Sea Scrolls. I love, I love the the Gnostic library that was found, which I can't speak really. These things I love, but that doesn't mean I agree with everything that's in it. So, on your journey that you're at, if you're trying to be a religious expert, really understand the different areas and different beliefs out there. Because when I first heard of Gnosticism, I just heard the padded answer from friends and never really investigated it. And then when I really got into it and found out most of the Gnostics were Jews who are considered heretical, who found a lot of the other ancient wisdoms and included it within their faith. So what this little short video is wherever you're at, you've not hit the ceiling. We don't know it all. We're continually searching. Now, if you're where you're at, you need to be, stay camp, that's fine. I'm not trying to discourage your faith or tell you that you're wrong. But if you're going to be an expert and you're going to start criticizing other people and stuff like that, really understand what you're talking about. If you want to criticize Judaism, understand Judaism first. If you want to criticize Christianity, understand Christianity. If you want to knock Gnosticism, really understand the different schools of Gnosticism before you do this thing. So don't be that person that thinks they know it all without studying. Be the nerd like I am and friends like mine who just fall into this stuff and really study to dig the truth and to get rid of the rest of the stuff. Have a good night. Thank you so much.